Thank you for joining us at Beyond Corona Film Festival. I'm Allison McCulloch, and this is Gurvir Riar.
Hello.
How's it going, Gurvir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I had a question regarding your two short films. One of the characters in your films is masked. Did you film this during the pandemic?
No, so I actually filmed this. It's been a while, and it's probably been close to a year now.
Okay.
And it was basically like, uh, there's like this local, sort of it wasn't exactly it wasn't a film festival. It was more just like it was like a local event, mainly just to get, local people to make short films and just to basically work on something. And the prompt for us was to, oh man, I think it was like basically to do like a 1 to 2 minute horror themed short film. So we originally, me and I had two other friends who helped me with it, and they're both the actors in it. Um, and we originally thought about this completely different thing, but it was just like we just didn't have enough time to do it. So instead, we like kind of thought about the idea for the short film we ended up making. Um, so we thought about that. I think it was like a Saturday night, or it was a Friday night. We filmed it the following day, and we basically spent the whole day just filming it. And then the next day, um, I edited the whole thing, and then my friend came over and he did the music to kind of like time with the short film. So that was kind of cool because that was the first time I actually like, in a way, worked with the composer because it was like he made the music specifically for the short. But so we kind of made it over like about a 48-hour time span almost.
Oh, wow. And this is
Because
for the film 50/50, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so and then it was just like a little like it was like a small gathering, and we all watched each other's short films and stuff. Um, but then I ended up going back to it later, kind of making a few more minor adjustments because since it was edited so quick, it wasn't super dialed down. And then I just kind of like released it on like my Vimeo and just like put it out as just like a proper short film, just for fun.
Oh, that's great. And then your other short film, Strikeout. So that's that film. It seems like the security camera is a character in this.
Yeah, so um that was so this one it was kind of another funny story. Every like short film I end up making, it's like kind of always like in a time crunch. So I basically it was when I was signing up for film school, there was like a prompt I had to do for the major I was going into. And instead of just doing something where just a video that just fits the prompt, I kind of just want to make into a proper short film so I could kind of use it for other stuff too.
Yeah.
And so I was like trying to like get everything organized, and most of my friends weren't able to help on this one. And but this time I basically got reconnected between making 50/50 and Strikeout. I got reconnected with my friend, like my childhood friend who I started making short films with. So what was really cool is
Oh,
I got to make another one with him. It was just the two of us. And basically in like a day I kind of planned out like something we could both make together. And so the idea was to basically have the character make a decision without any dialogue and to basically visually show it. So but then I ended up like sort of creating this whole like like theme of like a little bit of baseball and stuff, and just the guy's trying to break into the house but sees a security camera. um and yeah, so I okay, so I mean, lately, I've been like studying a lot of like Alfred Hitchcock and all these different filmmakers, but I really like the idea of like Alfred Hitchcock, how I mean, there's a couple interviews where he explains it really well, where it's what you're showing the audience, like you show a photo of this, and then you show a photo of this, and then they make the connection between the two. Um, and it was basically that. So for the Strikeout short film, I was originally thinking like to have the in a way to make the security camera even more of a character, like
oh,
maybe
okay.
add some like sounds, and it's just like it's a very simple thing. um so yeah, and I mean I feel like that's like the whole I guess the drama of it comes from the security camera. So yeah, so I kind of felt like that was like basically why I decided to um be like almost shot like another character, you know.
Yeah, and I love it too because the way they play off of each other, it really added to the drama. And I know that the limit was 4 minutes, so everyone has to create a story within that amount of time, and it can be difficult for some people.
Mhm.
And so you did it really well. And I was wondering, in the future, are you you're still a student? Are
Mhm.
you going to focus on making a few more short films, and then eventually, what are your plans as a filmmaker?
So my main goal is to like be a cinematographer, and
Oh,
I want to
cool.
work on narrative features primarily. But it's like also on the side, I also want to do things like well direct some of my own films, my own short films, and you know even work on documentaries and stuff like that. So I actually had before classes started back up, I planned out another short film, and this time it would have been like because I tend to like the more like artsier side of film and so this time it would have been something that fit a bit more like that. It was like really inspired from like eight and a half and
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. So uh and it was like you know lockdown and you know COVID-19, that was all supposed to be kind of like part of it, so it's like all the characters are wearing masks and whatnot, but it's just like it just ran out of time before classes started back up, so maybe I'll end up making that when there's like winter break or something. But yeah, I still even though I'm focusing on cinematography, I still plan to like you know direct my own short films occasionally, but it's like mainly just more like passion project type stuff. And then me and some friends we were just sort of like in the works of planning out like stories and stuff for a feature film idea. So maybe in the next year we might try shooting a feature film, like a very low budget feature film. We're still kind of in the process of developing the story and whatnot, so it's like I'm not you know sure in terms of the resources and stuff we need, but like we were really inspired by movies like Easy Rider and stuff like that, so it's like that it we're if we make something, we wouldn't be trying to make it feel so commercial, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, it'd be more like I tend to like that more like independent type films, um, where I just feel like you could it tends to be like the whole process in general, like it's like a bit more, I guess, risky in a way in terms of like the story. Like it's not as formulaic and stuff. So that I mean that's the type of projects I'm usually attracted to. So it's like that's the type of projects I'd want to try making, you know, if I am gonna direct something. But I don't ever see myself really trying to like move in the direction of directing bigger projects. I think I'd probably stick to just smaller stuff because it'd be like kind of side stuff I do just out of like the passion of it.
And as a cinematographer, what are some directors that you would dream of working for?
Um well, so I mean, one of my favorite like art house filmmakers of all time is Satyajit Ray. I mean,
Oh,
just a few
yeah.
months ago, I watched his Apu trilogy, and like you know, like me being Indian, like that really left a really big effect on me because I've never seen Indian movies like that before. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that was out there. And then I really like Mira Nair's films too.
Oh, yeah.
And some other people are um, there's the cinematographer Haskell Wexler, and he occasionally directed his own stuff too. And um, I haven't seen a lot of his work, but I've seen some of the films he shot. But I've seen like a lot of his interviews and stuff like that, and like just his like activism and you know the way he approached filmmaking is like a really big inspiration for me. So I think I would have just loved to like worked with him too if I ever had the chance.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean I tend to like yeah more independent type filmmakers. I tend to like the stories they uh, tend to be making, and um, yeah, I mean, kind of like what I said before. Like those are the types of things I like to watch, and those are the types of things I'd like to make.
Exactly. Plus, if you're making films independently, it seems like you would have a lot more freedom.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like it'd be like you could focus a lot more on the creative aspects of it, and you're probably not going to think as much about like logistic type stuff or like pleasing people or like investors, you know, all that stuff. But I mean, you know, I like I feel like I still have a long ways to go. So like, who knows how things will change and whatnot. Um,
Exactly.
but I, for right now, I see myself like mainly sticking towards that sort of market. And another filmmaker actually is uh, I watched one of my friends. He recommended to me Sonatine by Takeshi Kitano,
Oh yeah.
and if he ever makes another film like that, man, I would love to be part of like that kind of film. Yeah, but
Oh,
I really like the idea of working with like in different language films and whatnot. I think that that'd be something really really cool.
and not to put you on the spot, but how many languages do you speak?
So well, I mean, I speak English and then I also speak Punjabi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm like a little bit rusty on it. But yeah, yeah, like I'll talk to my parents and like grandparents and Punjabi and whatnot. I can't read or write it though, but I could speak it fine. But yeah, those are kind of the main two.
So if you ever got the chance to work with Katana, do you think it would be with a translator, or would you try to learn Japanese for the basic filmmaking
Maybe
terms?
maybe for I think it'd probably be with the translator. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess with when working with them, I try to pick up on some Japanese stuff. I love like I recently watched uh Ugetsu by Kenji Misaguchi. So I was like, I mean, if I knew Japanese, I feel like that'd be so cool to just watch a lot of those like
Oh
60s
yeah,
Japanese movies from without having to read the subtitles and
exactly.
but
Well, sometimes the translations are a little off, or it's not the exact interpretation.
yeah.
So it's good to know the language.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. And you're one of the two filmmakers that has two selections this
That was
time.
cool.